translate over to their second play day, but we'll have to see how that actually goes down.
Yes, it is Villa though, so I would expect Allen Square to start off with quite a good run of things, and then to switch back to Unreal Academy. And as we get to the late round, I think that's when we'll really see which team has the superior strats and the superior frag potential. For our first ban, as expected, Allen Squared will take out Thatcher. I'd expect probably something like, let's see what we're going to get here. Maybe they'll surprise me. And it will be Habana, a quite strong ban on this map. Really just limits that aggressive hard breach potential. And Unreal clearly has thought out their advanced bans in advance, and they will take out Goyo for their second ban. What do you make of that?
I like Goyle as a ban, especially since he brings 2 deployable shields, and that's something that is definitely not underrated here. If you're playing on planes and games per se, you can have a shield on bookshelf, you can have a shield on 90, you can have a bookshelf on vault door, you can have a bookshelf, you can have a Goyo shield on the map side, and it's so much information. And Mira, an operator purely dedicated to creating information, is off the board. And the motif for this evening will be me making terrible jokes about this bandwave. So I'm just going to highlight it once more time. And good night to them. I hate seeing them in game, and they just flood all my ranked games. So good night, sleep well. Actually, sleep poorly.
I thought the bad jokes were my job.
No, the bad jokes are everyone's job here as we dive into round number 1. A pretty standard lineup coming out by both of these teams. Wamai's most likely bringing a shield, Smoke's most likely bringing a shield. So it's going to be a bookshelf hold facilitated by Wamai Pancakes as well as Jaeger ADSs.
Yes, and we also have the Kaid in play, unlike our first Villa game, so that should be quite interesting to watch happen and play out. They don't have to deal with the Habana, so they're only going to have to worry about Mavericks or Thermites, which really need to get up close to the wall if they want to get it open, as Ace is not in play. So they can really use those Kaids more conservatively and really get the walls that really matter to them. Speaking of hard breach, we'll see Natural on the Thermite, his favorite operator in the game.
Indeed. And one thing that I've been talking about with a lot of coaches is bringing back the old meta of where you place the thermite charge on the floor and you make open like these little tiny feet murder holes. A lot of teams use a Habana to open those holes, but the one thing that requires is you to put at least 2 people underneath the site, sometimes an IQ or sometimes a player with frag grenades, and blow those electric devices sky high. But when you bring a thermite, all you need to do is place it about 4 millimeters away from that wall, and it opens up for free. It's absolutely imperative when you're trying to prevent somebody swinging out from vault door, as well as UE bar. We'll have to see if the attackers elect to utilize it. It's going to be a split take, partly through study, partly through trophy window. And Senpai knows this. He's going to have some warning shots, but they're not netting anything.
Yeah, we'll see the IQ starting to use her scanner to try and locate some of those more offensive gadgets. We'll be seeing Sir Meeps a lot, really just shredding open that window in the wall, just trying to get any angle he can. We'll be seeing.
Oh, it seems
Looks
like
like
my
my
perhaps my
mic was
PC.
glitched out a bit. Unfortunately, we will be seeing Senpai on top of. I forgot what it's called. How did I do that? But I Delta will take a ton of damage inside of Trophy.
My 3 brain cells are infection as my co-caster gets it through. It's going to be Fly or Vly taking a kill, but he's going to get meteor reflag. Oh, pardon me. That's actually going to be Meep getting that frag back because the ult is just too powerful. And Henry finds a second kill, but get immediately refragged by Artful, utilizing that G8 perfectly. What started off as an aggressive man count for Allen is just going to go in favor of the defense as another attacker continues to fall. Breezy, who's playing underneath, is going to rotate back up through the main stairs, and the man count on site continues to multiply as all the offsite roamers are now back home. But it's going to be Thermite opening up Hunting Vault, and the player Helio will no longer be allowed to stay here as the site is now cut in two with 60 seconds left.
Yes, this is, I would say right now it's within the hands of Allen Square to really just hold themselves together and be a stalwart defense. If they don't overexpose themselves, this should be an easy win. They can just whittle the minute away that is remaining. And they still have 3 gas grenades. They still have the nitro of the Kaid, they've got a lot of utility to work with and intel from the Maestro cams. We're seeing Helio going for quite an aggressive flank, but Natural should be in a position to shut him down. No, Natural will get gunned down. Helio finding the kill. Vic Lexi will get one onto Helio, though he's pushed into sight quite aggressively, but he doesn't have diffuser. So this is quite a suboptimal position. Vault wall is open. He'll get gunned down. Allen taking round one.
Vlai found himself in a very awkward position, and that SMG-11 just bullet hoses him to his demise. Allen Squared wins their first defensive half, and it was kind of a back and forth where either one of those teams could have been successful, but the defense ended up winning it out. And it just looked like the attacking lineup was skipping simple steps. And I have to call Fogo out for that one. Just kidding. I know he's still listening. But the thing is, when you're an attacker, you have to run through your mental checklist. And the moment you start making skips on those checklists, misdroning, not having flank drones, that's when you start losing the round. Because honestly, Unreal Nightmare was fully in control of that round. They had it in the bag, but they made those small mistakes and they started to compound. And those are things you can't allow.
Yes, that is certainly true. Once a team gets the momentum in Siege, typically they snowball. It's not like counters. It somewhat is. You can get 5 headshots and win the round, but that's a lot more unlikely than in Counter Strike, where you can just swing and hopefully get a few kills. And we will see the defense start to go for a similar setup to what we saw in the first Villa game, with a shield in the middle of statuary, but no rotate into Master and no castle to be seen this time. Instead, bringing the Kaid and the Dock.
This is the most unorthodox shield setup I've ever seen. I'm really not sure what the purpose is. Maybe it's so Kaid can Kaid trick here safely, not get flashed, not get naded out. I mean, they are running a Zofia. I Delta does love that operator, and that shield will protect him from getting stunned. So, I mean, that's a possibility. I'm just not sure. And it's Vlad still reading his strat book. 15 seconds left in this round. But that does show that Fogo has done his due diligence and has prepared a good strategy for his attackers. And it's going to be a South Side execute coming out of Unreal Academy. And the attackers, pardon me, the defense haven't established any control on the planes and game sides. The attackers are going to get that real estate for free, other than Breezy sitting here in 90.
Yep, Natural just on that drone trying to find out where the defenders are hiding away. But unfortunately, he hasn't found the location of any of them. Breezy is in an excellent position with those discs to shut down the push. And I don't know if they're going to spot the Jaeger back from. I don't think they have. I think he's still hidden. He might be able to pull off a pretty impressive flank here. We'll see when Mai fall back into sight. Having wasted about 45 seconds of time, he's deemed it enough and has elected to fall back. Allen has been playing pretty unusually so far, especially with this hidden away Jaeger, who has not been spotted by the drone whatsoever and is still perfectly hidden. We'll see Nomad pushing up and breach charges being utilized, attempt to get them a bit closer to the site. We'll see Nomad kick a bit of fire, but the Jaeger, he's still hidden.
Meeps a lot punishes Senpai as he gets too aggressive. Delta's gonna get blown up from a Nitro Cell from underneath, but he's Zofia and he can self-res, but also who needs a self-res when you can teammate can bring you to a guaranteed 20 HP instead of 5. Fly is gonna find one, but he's gonna get immediate refrag as Breezy finds Meeps a lot, and we're back at an almost equal man count as the attackers are a +1 with about, we'll call that 70 seconds left in this round.
Yes, but I Delta and Valenci are on quite low HP, and we still got the ACOG of Henry to deal with. That's going to be quite the threat. Senpai could have found an excellent kill if he hadn't gotten a bit over aggressive. And we'll see Valexi find one onto Helio. Breeze with a double kill, but Henry VS will be taken out, and it'll be all in the hands of Breeze with the AUG A2. Let's see if he can find any more kills with it. He'll find one. Now that's a triple. He'll take a few shots with a pistol, but they will miss. It's down to Valexi and iDelta versus Breeze. Let's see what he can make happen here. He's in a position to find the second, but no, he'll fall off again. Rotating into Master, and air jab will be set off, but iDelta is in a position to just hide away and try to whittle down the time. Breeze really needs to go on the offensive, but he might be able to find the player inside of what is this room called? Can you remind me?
Statuary. We're currently finding ourselves in Statuary. Yep.
Yes, and we'll see Breeze attempt to push up by the diffuser, but the floor is open. He might try to go for a ninja here. That's what I would do if I was him. There's 13 seconds on the clock. Soon they'll know he'll be forced to go for the diffuser. He's just clearing every angle. He'll find the Nomad, But now he's only got 6 seconds and there's no time. Breeze with the quad kill. Let's see if he can find the ace before the round ends. No, he'll get Zofia stun from below, and this round will go the way of Unreal Academy. Breeze just wasn't able to clutch it out in the end.
Great point, my friend. And well, there's a huge blunder there where both the attacker and defender were pretty much within like 1 square meter of each other. And well, they didn't like to shoot each other. We just saw Delta patiently waiting and honestly playing his time perfectly. Delta could have swung, he could have got aggressive, and he could have swung and killed people. And I do want to quickly apologize. It seems like our audio has been just slightly out of sync, but we're going to try to bring it back as we leave the prep phase and start, well, actually, pardon me, as we leave the operator pick phase and go into the prep phase. And here we are with 33 seconds left, or pardon me, 43 seconds left in this prep phase. How will Allen Squared set this up, especially when they lost this round?
Yep, I am back. I was just having a bit of glitch with my stream, and as there are 34 seconds left in the prep phase, Wamai will just be reinforcing away and just attempting. Perhaps we'll see the same shield setup as they head back to trophy and statue. This should be interesting to watch. It was a very unusual setup, but the Wamai man should perform excellently on his role.
Good point, my friend. And it looks like Unreal Academy will be let out of the gate as 0-0 goes on the clock. They have 3 minutes to perfectly execute. And how will they do this? Last time they pushed in from the south side of the map. And the problem with that was Allen Squared put no resistance over there. And because of that, they got free real estate. And it was a fee simple estate exchange and easy peasy lemon squeezy if you're an Unreal fan. But it looks like they're going to actually do a split push again as Sir Meepsalot pushes through the north side of the map, facilitated by his teammates who are also doing a south push.
Yes, and as we head into the first 30 seconds of the round being over, we'll see Meepsalot just starting to send out his drones, attempting to find the location of those defenders. Just hiding away, hoping that there will be no more sneaky Jaeger plays, even though in the end it didn't work out so well for Senpai last round.
Good point, my friends. 2 minutes and 4 seconds now on the clock, and the attackers have already started to push through study side. But it's going to be Helio putting a rut in there as Vi finds himself off the board, and those Nomad air jabs will no longer be a factor. So we'll have to see if that's a big deal, especially since Allen has constantly been putting up big flanks. But it's going to be Artful just pushing up through Lamp. He knows that there's a player sitting on the trophy, and he's going to get aggressive, but he's not going to be able to control the G8's recoil. A huge blunder coming out by Artful. A surefire kill allows Hilo to persist a little longer. Just under 90 seconds now spent, and it's going to be Hilo punishing that missed aggression by Artful. An absolute blunder. It's a minute 20 now, though, and the attackers are starting to work their way onto the execute. -2 members, and Sir Meepsalot gets punished as well, and then more bodies might be falling, but it's just going to be Helio following this 2v4.
Yes, as we head into the first minute and 13 seconds, it looks like Henry VVS is just going on a massacre right now. Natural will, however, confirm the kill on Helio, putting into 2v4, not ideal circumstances. Senpai, he's got the opportunity to earn himself some kills here on the Jaeger. Natural just at a absolute standstill due to that shield right now. There's no way to push in further.
Good point, my friend. 37 seconds left in this round, and the attackers have a big hill to climb. They're going to have to find 4 kills or 2 kills piece, and it's going to be the Toxic Babes choking Delta out. But he's afraid to push in through landing as he knows his time is limited. A second Toxic Babe brings out. Caden still has 1 left. I don't know if this is possible for Unreal Academy, especially when Henry finds a kill of Natural. It's now just Delta. In this 1v4, Delta's head is spotted, but it's going to be Henry just missing his shots with a big flank coming out by Senpai, punishing Delta. And it's going to be another round win by Allen Squared as they rectify their mistakes. And again, it seems like we still have audio problems as my co-caster somehow found himself unsynced. We're going to have to see how this prep phase goes out with 2 seconds left, the deliberation already in, but will there be a 6 pick? And Piers, my co-caster, is DC'd altogether, so you're stuck with me for the time being. And I love the strategy that both these teams are bringing. Sir Meepsalot is teasing a 6-pick, and it'll be very interesting to see what he's going. He's going to think better of that and do the big brain 6-pick as it's Ash to Ash. Now, I haven't seen a lot of soft destruction coming out by the side of Unreal Academy. That's partly because Allen Squared isn't utilizing any destruction meta right whatsoever. The only thing they're doing is utilizing Wamai and Jaeger, but their shield economy is lackluster. I haven't seen the defense realize or utilize any shields that are too impactful and are forcing the attackers to burn the soft destruction that Delta and Sir Meepsalot constantly is bringing. So maybe that 6-pick is advised. Maybe you'd do better off with a Jackal, especially considering that there's been huge roam plays coming out by Helio.
Yes, that is certainly true. Helio has been great on the roam, and it is 1-2, and I'd say right now it's a bit in the favor of Unreal Academy. We have the prep phase just ending now, 10 seconds more for their setup. We're seeing Kaid with those electric laws just starting to shock things off as Maestro begins to rotate over towards 90 cross section.
Good point, my friend. There's plenty of time for either one of these teams to start off. And again, as I said before, the horses are left out of the gate. They're going to have to rush through and grab their map control here on this stunning Italian countryside villa. All of these wineries, it'd be very difficult to actually attack. You could never get me to do anything serious here. And especially with this micro position coming out by Henry. He is definitely stuck between a rock and a hard place as his life is numbered, especially with that explosive device going off by Ash, but he's going to rotate successfully. And how is this? Artful completely allowed him to come out from that position. That was a surefire death, and it's going to be Senpai attempting to get aggressive here, trying to claim out IQ's life. But Artful is not presenting himself with any position. He's not going to show his body one bit, and that's going to work well for both of these teams.
Unfortunately, it seems like my video feed has cut out completely now, so we'll have to have a rehost after this round to fix the issues. But so far, it seems to be quite interesting, and I think you can handle the rest of this, Chief.
I will. 100 seconds left in this round. There's still 10 breathing bodies left, and the attackers are going to have to start utilizing their soft destruction to get rid of these Maestro bubble eyes. But oh no, they don't do a good job droning, and it's going to be the Jaeger ADS claiming one of the lifelines, and that bubble is going to persist for a little longer. But the G8's going to kill the head of one, and it's going to be the bullet hose of Caden finding another one, and Fly finds another one. More and more bodies continue to fall. It's 7 living, breathing human beings in this lobby, especially now that the vault has been opened. We're going to see more casualties momentarily, and it's Delta who issues that demise. A wide swing from Bush Shelf, not netting anything. The teams are going to calm down just a bit as they begin and continue their execute. More gunshots ring out as a position, and Bookshelf is still known. It's a 2v4 now. Breezy's going to have to find big kills, and it's going to be Caden starting that off as Natural's micro positioning is terrible, and he gets punished, and a rotation back through Vault. Oh no, Zavly's going to miss his shots. He's actually ended up winning. That is Sir Meepsalot claims the last one of the round, and we're going to have to dive into a rehost to deal with more production issues. So we'll be back with you in about 5 seconds. Oh, and actually, admin's now telling me that there is no rehost. Perfectly.
We will be continuing as normal. We're just having some brief glitches with the feed, and that should hopefully be resolved soon.
And I think we've actually done that. We won't need a rehost. Again, apologies. I had 2 people talking to my ear as well as the observer as our producer. But hopefully the discombobulation on our end has been ended, because it looked like Claw, we're still stuck in the first game. Allen was just a little discombobulated on that execute.
Yes, almost certainly. And as we head into the next round, as soon as this loading finishes, it'll be interesting to see what sort of setup they go for in the kitchen bomb site. It's their first time here. So far, 2-2. Not exactly ideal for Villa. You want a 4-2 split. We'll have to see if they can pull themselves back the next 2 rounds. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with this team composition. Echo is still on the board, but they've instead decided to bring Maestro and Castle. I don't think this is going to be like that Nitro hold we saw in our first Villa game, because they only have one Nitro on Helio and they're bringing Castle. So I think we're going to see more of a top floor roam.
It's interesting to see what we could see. And again, we've seen a lot of teams bring out Nitro Cells, and lots of Nitro Cells at that. With the same thing that you mentioned in game number 1, there was only 2 Nitro Cells. Now we only have 1. So maybe the Nitro Cell Bonanza strategy is no longer in effect, and they're going to return back to the status quo that was a traditional vertical style hold. Now, referencing game number 1 against INC and Unreal, the main roster of Unreal, was the fact that actually we saw INC run a lateral hold through the living room library side, but it's going to be Allen Squared electing to do a vertical hold in the master bedroom. So we'll have to see how each one of those strategies pans out as Allen starts round number 5.
Yes, almost certainly. Those prox mines from the castle should really help with that top floor hold, as they provide a huge amount of intel onto where the attack is pushing from. It looks like he's still got that super shorty out, just trying to give a bit more rotate and vertical freedom to his team, trying to set up some new angles they can use to hopefully find some kills. We'll see Valexi and Valexi and Natural pushing in quite aggressively, as well as Sir Meeps a lot. We will be seeing Senpai still playing down below, just trying to rotate around and find any kills as the IQ starts to destroy those gadgets from up top.
IQ finds itself in a unique position as bullets are being traded by both the attackers and defenders. And remember, soft destruction works both ways, and both teams know that. IQ has the only attacker that can really have wall hacks, and she can see players sitting on cameras and on drones. So if one of the Allen Squared members puts himself in an awkward position on a drone, he might get felled for free. You can see iDelta opening the top of Memorial, so any rotating players of Allen can also get felled. That's a big strategy when you're running multiple Nitro Cells, because that's a prime place to get Nitro Cell kills. But again, since we have God Vision, we know for a fact there are no Nitro Cells other than the one that's being brought on Helio. And speaking of Helio, he's done a wonderful job executing on those Nitro Cells. I believe the majority of his 3 kills are from those.
Yes, almost certainly. That single Nitro can still have a lot of power, especially if you see Thermite going for the hatch, or IQ or Zofia trying to use one of those reach charges. I think we saw the first Thermite charge get successfully denied. Senpai is still inside of that mudroom area as he attempts to find a kill. Helio will be taken down, but not before Valexi is felled. Thermite still trying to look into that laundry area and try to push in to try and hopefully get that wall, but the smoke canister will still be there to preventing it. It's unknown if Helio will get picked up, but I'd say right now it's within the favor of AllenxAllen, especially if they can get him up. And now it'll be a 3v5, then a 2v5. Let's see if they can find any more kills. No, Natural will find one, but he'll be quite low on HP, and now he will be down, and I think that should be it for the round, unless iDelta can work out a miracle. 2v3. Breeze will find the last kill onto iDelta. That will be the round for AllenxAllen.
Breezy almost nay-nays on the Jaeger as he pushes through China. And honestly, that round could have worked well for Unreal Academy if the Thermite made it up to Jenga. I think a lot of players also call it Tetra. I just like calling it Jenga because it's fun. But imagine if he got there, it might have been a successful plant coming out of the Academy roster, but sadly, it didn't go down that way. And remember, this is still a very defender-sided map, so if you're a fan of Unreal, no worries. They have still one more round to bring us back to an equal split at 6-6, and that's a big deal if you're an attacking roster. And we're going to return over to Trophy Statuary, a site that we've seen both the Unreal Nightmares rosters very successful at attacking. They seem to understand how this map works, pushing from the opposite side of the map and establishing those crossfires. Where their strategy degradates is the fact their last second execution and those missed gunshots.
Yes, we'll see the same shield being used yet again from the Wamai. I think they could learn a thing or two from how in the earlier game, who was it again? Actually, it was In Control Nation and utilized that split master bedroom execute with the shield Honestly, I think Allen Squared could really utilize that to great effect in this round, given how much map control it just offers, how it lets you take more aggressive gunfights onto opposite map clears, which so far it seems Unreal Academy loves to go for.
The only problem with that strategy is you put somebody on bathroom window, you burn the ADSs, and one or two really nicely placed frag grenades will shut down that positioning. It will also stop a player from rotating deep from that shield. So that strategy has a lot of flaws, and a well-coordinated team facilitated by an IGL should be able to stop that strategy. That's probably a reason why, returning back to that first game we saw, Unreal Nightmare pretty much ignored it, or I mean, they didn't want to deal with it because it is difficult to deal. And look at this. Allen Squared sets up a lot of soft barricades on the planes and game side, but they're electing not to stall the attackers. And soft barricades won't be enough, especially when you're not running a mute and Mozzie. If you're running a mute Mozzie, I would have given the argument that you could run a setup like this because at least you're still grabbing drone information. And Helio finds himself in the exact same rat spot he was in round number 3, where he picked up 2 big kills. Will the attackers make a blunder again, or will they be successful? We'll have to find out.
Yes, Helio really with those nasty plays. If it isn't for the malfunction of the R4C but better when it came to that recoil control, he would have been good as dead. But if he can just hope his luck holds and manage to get a kill or two off of that, he should be quite successful. And we'll see Sophia and Nomad beginning to push up on his position. He'll peek aggressively, but he will not get felled. He will live to fight another day, just attempting to use that rat angle, but he'll get dislodged from below. That is all they wrote for Helio. He will be taken out by Sir Meepsalot with fantastic vertical play.
Helio gets punished for his redundancy, as that, well, as you mentioned, that vertical destruction can be utilized by the attackers as well. And that was your linchpin in round number 3. No longer a factor. IQ still doing her job, preventing information as well as those Wamai pancakes from being a factor and being continuously utilized by Allen Squared. But look at this. There's only 60 seconds left in this round, and the attackers really haven't accomplished much other than confirming that they are now the owners of that beautiful lamp that we see 2 of the attackers hiding in. You can also see Ash in that bush, which is an interesting place to be, and it's a nice glitch. But here comes the push as Sir Meepsalot floods in, but Freezy finds 2. It's a bad sprint challenge by the attackers, and another kill for Henry. More and more bodies falls, as now it's a 1v4 as iDelta has to make the miracle play. His crossfires have been established, his life is numbered and possibly forfeit, but he's not going to give up. He's going to attempt to hip fires, one flanks up from behind him, and he spins, twisting in the wind. He's going to get felled by a myriad of bullets, and can be Breezy, I believe, on a 4K in this round, getting credited with the final kill.
Yes, that buff to Amai where they gave him, I think it's the P12, is quite a nice buff because you can just really, with the increased magazine capacity, you can just mag dump like that. And that was a beautiful kill and a beautiful 4K, and it really helped Allen Squared cement themselves with a 2-4 half as now reverse sweep and take home the game.
My friend, are you saying that you're not a Karos fan?
The revolver is very nice, but I like the P12 more because it go burr.
312 goes burr. Don't talk crap on the Karos. The Karos is actually really good. And for those of you who haven't used the Karos ever in your life, try using it. It's actually a lot of fun, especially when you have 6 bullets and you all try to one tap everybody, giving yourself 1 extra bullet in case you miss a shot. It's a fun thing to do in ranked, especially when you're playing with golds. But let's dive back into round number 7, and we're going to see a side switch, and it's going to be Unreal Academy now, starting on their defensive path. Now, Villa, we saw, was kind of attacker-sided, especially, or pardon me, defender-sided when we saw it play earlier. So will that trend continue to play? It's most likely going to be the case, considering it's a 4-2 split, which again is status quo.
Yes, almost certainly. And we'll be seeing a pretty standard defensive lineup with the Wamai Echo for shields as well as the smoke. They only have 2 shields. They decided not to bring a shield on Echo, as the barbed wire they decided was the more useful thing to have. And that shield on the game's room door is quite interesting, as it provides a nice angle into 90. And so far, this is a quite interesting defensive setup from Unreal Academy.
It looks like one of the south walls of games is remaining soft, and I think it is. That might be a mistake simply because the attackers can utilize soft destruction and open it up, but they're also going to utilize bullet holes, which you can see a little transparent. Echo's going to rotate off of it. Oh no, he had a perfect opportunity to execute, but it's not going to work out. An explosive device rains off, stopping the attackers from pushing in, and here comes a myriad of flashbangs. It's going to be 4 as the grenade indicator forces Lamai away. That shield's life is numbered, but it looks like ADSs are still working, and Zavlai is going to find Senpai, and more bodies continue to fall as Meepsalot finds another kill this round. The attackers started off so well, but so far it's not working out in their favor, especially with an HP disadvantage in favor of Allen Squared.
Yes, we'll see Helio down, effectively putting it to a 4v2, now a 4v1, all in the hands of the Zofia now. Zofia will find one, putting it down to a 3v1. Let's see if she can clutch this up. She knows there's one main stairs. That's a 2v1. This is winnable. She can do this, but it's going to be extremely difficult uphill battle with the rocks that are artful and natural. I don't know where I got anthill from that. With the smoke grenade to choke him out as he is on quite low HP. And we'll see another Toxic Babe come flying out. He'll be taking quite a bit of damage from the Maestro Cam, and he'll be forced off the site at barely 10 HP. He could get zapped to death right now. That is quite not a good situation to be in. He'll pick up the diffuser, looking to rotate over to the 90 hallway. He sees the shield and takes out the cam, but this is all over. He's down, and that will be the round for Unreal Academy, putting it 3-4.
A valiant attempt coming out by Allen Squared, but at the end of the day, it works out well. And again, seems like we're 5 seconds ahead, so we're going to have to pause this quickly and see how that actually transpires. And looks like we have adjusted everything. So far, it seems like our YouTube feed just doesn't like me today. Maybe it's also picked up the same curse I have, which is having 3 brain cells. And I guess, well, since it would be from a server, it only has 3 cores.
Yes, and we'll be seeing the Ayana 6th pick to a Montana. That's what I like to see. I really like that shield play, and it should be interesting to see how Breeze manages to function with him. There is a smoke on the board and a Maestro, as well as a Nitros from the Mute and Bandit, so there's quite a lot to stop him, but let's see how he can make that work. He's quite a strong operator, basically a giant moving drone that basically blocks all bullets. Very interesting operator, very unique play style.
As you mentioned, he's going to be an operator to grab map control. Allen's map control was very lackluster on that attack simply because they fatal funneled themselves through the study door, which is something that you can't allow to happen. An operator that I guess is designed to push fatal funnels is the Monty. So, I mean, I guess that's a way to address the problem that they just had. I don't know if it's the best idea. I think the better play would have been to push from the north side of the map and go to planes and games. But again, I'm not the player in the lobby, so obviously they saw some type of information that prompted them to do the very linear through study take. Now, the fact that they are pushing to trophy, and be advised to go to the study side where you can see the defensive lineup of Unreal Academy putting most of their utility.
Yes, this Monty should be quite interesting to watch play out, as they should be able to clear those rooms quite a lot more effectively and get to that trophy bomb site a lot quicker, knowing they can walk in confidence behind his big bulletproof blockade. Just trying to come up with some rhymes there. And we will see Alexi playing inside of Matt Plains as he attempts to just hold out the defense and the attack. And there will be Jaeger waiting inside of Bar. Do they know he's there? Perhaps he can go for a cheeky little run out, but he will have to go against Monty's shield right now. Alexi now rotating to back him up out of Plains, so Plains is free for their control. But Bandits down below, they could get a huge Nitro pick onto the Monty if they know his location. They'll come out and will find Senpai. That's a huge pick. Meepsalot finding the first one of the round. Now Monty will find himself a lot more isolated. Sir Meepsalot taking out Helio as well. He's just absolutely shredding it on this vertical play. Sir Meepsalot looking to find one on the Monty now. We'll see the Zofia just attempting to drone out the way, and Allen will recover diffuser, but Breeze will find one onto Valexi. That's a mute off the board. Let's see what he can make happen here. And the Zofia will find one, getting it down to a 3v3, evening out the odds. They still have the Monty on the board. That's a linchpin of their strat. Let's see if they can make that work. Meepsalot has fallen down below again. It looks like he's heading for a flank. Natural still on those Maestro cams, just looking to do anything he can. And the position of the Bandit will be compromised.
His position is compromised, but he's going to be allowed to rotate up Astro Stairs for free. No aggression coming out by the attackers of Allen Squared, and they miss the punishment. And a punishment was dealt by that individual, Sir Meeps a lot. And having him still a factor in this game is going to be something that Allen Squared doesn't want to have happen. One thing that I love about Unreal Academy is the fact that they use these bullet hole peek holes perfectly. Monty has control of sight now. The problem is, will he be able to plant? There's a double crossfire calling out of position, and here comes the aggressive peek by Caden. Off screen, though, we see the Alda claiming Henry's life. We'll call it technically a 2v1 as there's only one gun active, and that's going to be Caden. Monty essentially is a moving mirror window, so his fragging potential isn't going to be a big factor. It's going to be Caden trying to do a plant and Monty covering him. A curious decision, but the bomb's almost down. It's going to get stopped last second by Artful. It's going to be Monty stuck in this 1v2. He's going to have to self-unsheath and utilize that pistol if he wants to be successful. He's sitting at under 20 HP. The crossfire established and Artful kills him. A nice attempt coming out by the attackers, but unfortunately, just didn't work out.
It was so close. I think it was 5 milliseconds away from being planted. That was an extremely close round, but Allen Squared, unfortunately, was on the unlucky end of the smoke grenade RNG and suffered because of it. We'll see the Vigil being brought by Sir Meeps a lot, really looking to go for that frag potential. Now in the dining room kitchen bomb site, really looking to go for a deep run with the Mozzie Mute and Vigil all on the board, as well as Maestro to just hold down sight. We'll see a very aggressive line up from Team Allen Squared, but they will switch it up at the end, electing to bring the Monty instead. But we'll see a super aggressive team comp from Unreal Nightmare, switching out their only anchor for a Pulse. Hopefully this time Natural can perform better on the Pulse than he did on Cafe.
Good point, my friend. And here we go, back underneath. And it's going to be a little bit more Nitro Cells. It's going to be 4 of them. I think that's enough to call it Nitro Cell Bonanza coming out by Unreal Academy. The only thing, though, is when you're the attacking lineup of Allen Squared, you're going to have to be very fearful of Nitro Cells below, because that's exactly the ideology behind the strategy, is prevent the attackers from utilizing vertical destruction. And there really isn't a lot of vertical destruction coming out by the attackers, in all honesty. The only soft breach they have is the 2 breaching launchers of Ash, and as well as a lifeline launcher of Caden. So that means you only have 4 holes to open up, which I mean isn't a big deal since they're not running a castle, they're not running a bubble from those Maestros. So maybe utilizing the breaching launchers would be advisable in this situation. It's just uncommon. A lot of teams tend to run at least one set of breaching charges, usually on a soft destructor, or it could be soft destructor like Senpai. But is this going to be a pantry rush with a Monty coming out by Allen Squared? We're going to have to find out.
Oh, I am so excited. If they're actually sending a Monty up pantry, this could be a very quick gunfight-filled round. It looks like some of the defenders might be rotating back to sight, but Ash will find one outside the window to pantry, looking into sight. Vigil and Pulse still in sight, so they know the push is coming down there. They see the Monty. This is just a question of how well they can hold it. All the calls coming out from Natural, using that cardiac sensor quite effectively. The Monty just really being the baseline of their attack. Like, think of the Monty as the flower of a recipe. You just need him in order to execute effectively. And we'll see the hard breach get stopped by a quick not nitro, but a frag grenade from Sir Meepsalot, just neutralizing the breaching of the wall. Delta will find one of the Caden. That's a Zofia off the board and one of their stronger fraggers. I find it interesting that Breeze is right now 12-3 on the Monty, but he'll get down through the floor. That's Breeze off the board. Delta with a double kill. Still calls coming out from Natural, really showing himself to be a team player using that cardiac sensor.
Delta's position isn't known. It might be now, given the fact that we've seen Henry pushing up, but Delta has already done his damage, killing two big players, Caden as well as that Muddy, who is spearheading the attackers and a real big component of their real estate acquisition. We're going to have to see how this give and take works back between these teams, especially given the fact that Allen Squared is at a man disadvantage. It's the calm before the storm. It's the deep plunge as both of these teams continue to use their information resources they have, whether or not it's the drones that Allen Squared has or that cardiac sensor that we see Natural continuously using. He's using that perfectly. He might not be finding a lot of kills in this round, but he'll be providing key information. He's the one that spearheaded Idelta's information and fragging game. It's going to be Helio stuck in this really bad position in Pantry. Idelta's going to find his third kill in the round. Will he attempt the ace? That will be shut down by Sir Meeps. A lot of his natural attacks on the board as well. No ace for Idelta, but it's going to be a wonderful team cohesion and a tertiary bomb site winning coming out by Unreal Nightmare. Will they be able to win every single defensive round? We'll have to find out.
Yes, now it's 5-4. They just need two more to win this game. This is really looking to be a good position for Team Unreal Nightmare. They are now going to bring the Ella on Sir Meeps a lot. I'm not sure if that's a fake out to fake the attack, think they're going more aggressive than they are. But no, it'll be a pulse at the last second with Natural on the Maestro again. Quite a strong operator for him. He's been performing quite well. And we'll see the Maverick on Helio.
A curious six pick coming out, and it's going to be to a Valkyrie of all operators to provide information. And Maverick, who was banned earlier, is going to be six picked to an Amaru. Autumn, do you know what might be happening? It might be a rush strategy. We'll have to see how this goes. Will Unreal Nightmare Academy be prepared for a yeet them strategy, or will Amaru just fall flat on her face? We'll have to find out.
Yeah, that will certainly be interesting. Amaru is a very strange operator. She's sort of a one-trick pony. Use her to rush and not much else. And they've been running the Monty every single round, so I'm sure Unreal Academy is prepared for the more slow push. And this really could be the unpredictability factor Allen 2 needs to really take home the round. Yes, every time I say their name, I will change it up. In fact, next time, I think I'm going to make it a quadratic function. What do you think, Chief?
Quadratic function. Wait, since it's already squared, wouldn't it be quadratic already?
Technically, yes.
Hey, yeah. It's been a while since I've taken back. It's been a long while. The only math I do is statistics, which is terrifying, and I recommend no sad human being ever do statistics in their life. Actually, just don't do math. Just sleep all day and play video games. That's more important. Much more important. But here we go with round number 10. It's going to be Allen Squared pushing from the north side of this map. The last time they attempted, it didn't work out well. So we'll have to see how this goes. And Helios not utilizing his little grappling hook. He's instead just going to rappel up like a normal breathing human being. So I don't know the idea behind that. But hey, he's going to push on through. Now, Amaru might just be picked for an extra entry frag up because the G8 slams kids. But again, I'm still so perplexed by this strategy. We'll actually have to see it pan out. And I'm curious to see the next 2 minutes.
Yes, two G8s on the board, as well as an R4C and Delphia's rifle. Quite a lot of fragging power, but we'll see Sir Meeps a lot, swing aggressively, and find a drone. Quite a nice opening pick. We'll see the Mozzie on the drone, just trying to gather any intel while the Wamai chucks out more discs, just trying to further reinforce his position.
More and more time continues to be burned, but the attackers have done their due diligence so far. They know that the south side, pardon me, the north side of the map, which is master bedroom, has been relinquished by the defense. They're doing this very, I don't want to call it a turtle hold, but a linear hold where they hold most of the side of the map. And it's going to be Henry finding their first kill, punishing Idelta, who I believe was somewhere near the main stairs. And it was a run out by Zavi. I don't know why that happened, but that was definitely ill-advised. And it's going to be Henry claiming one, and Helio using that G8, and then Amaru pick brilliantly claiming another kill. It's a 2v5, and more bodies for Unreal Nightmare to continue to fall. It's a flawless round, and a unique one at that. I'm not sure the aggression that came out by Unreal Nightmare, but they forfeit a round for free.
Yes, that was quite a strong round from Team Allen to the power of 2. They really executed onto that site well, really used the fact that all their guns go burr, and just really punished Team Unreal Nightmare for their aggression, putting it 5-5. Now it's really anyone's guess where it goes, so I'd give slight favor, maybe 60-40 to Unreal Academy, given the fact that they're on defense.
But the thing is, we will see all 12 rounds be utilized, and one of these teams will find themselves on match point. So if you're a fan of Allen Squared, start typing your team in all chat. If you're a fan of Unreal Academy, start typing your team in all chat because they're going to need support for these last two rounds because it will be a slaughter fest to say the least. Now, the last time that we were here on the trophy side, we would end up seeing Unreal win. So we'll have to see if they're able to continue that pattern. One of the contributing factors to Allen's loss, though, was the fact that they were too slow on their real estate acquisition on the plans and games of the map, and then they stacked too many of their bodies, and it just all fell down on the Monty who was stuck in that 1v2. So hopefully they're able to rectify the mistakes they were making. And again, mistakes continue to compound, and the team that makes the least amount of mistakes are most likely to win these next two rounds.
Yes, almost certainly true. It will be interesting to see who gets the momentum as we get this round underway. We'll see the Amaro being brought again, so it looks like they really thought that aggression worked excellently. I'm not sure if they gave it away in the sixth pick phase. Was that a sixth pick, or was that plainly shown?
Unfortunately, I was still updating my notes, so I actually missed the six pick phase. But what I find curious is the fact that Allen Squared is electing to not run a hard breacher, but they're running an Amaru instead. I think there's plenty of operators in game that would provide more information. I mean, even what we heard in our previous interviews, how Ayana provides a frag grenades and extra droning. You can even bring a Jackal and get, in theory, a different type of drone, but pings on players' locations. Unless you have a particular strategy with Amaru, I don't think it'll work very well.
Yes, that is almost certainly true. And we will be seeing, as you said, double G8s, the same team comp they ran last round with the Nomad for anti-flank. It will be a very strange push onto site, to say the least. Right now, we've got the Maestro, probably the linchpin, right now playing inside of Astro, just hoping to just hold everything together. But the Hash will be destroyed below, and it will be forced off as the Ash begins to just try and find a beat on his position. Sir Meepsalot will find the opening pick onto Breeze. That's one of the GH off the board, as well as Caden being down.
More vertical destruction coming out by Henry. He's put a lot of damage to Natural, but he still persists. And as you mentioned, this is the apex point in the round. As soon as Astro falls, it will be followed for the defense. But it's the defense who are finding huge kills. It's now a 1v3. And it's going to be Senpai the Nomad stuck in this huge, almost surmountable position. Will he be able to be successful? The AKM with 35 bullets is a good gun to find yourself in this position, but it's definitely a difficult one to be in. It looks like a player is rotating underneath to utilize a Nitro Cell. Nitro Cell goes off, but it gets shut down by the bathtub. What could have been a brilliant play is snuffed out with 45 seconds left. Pardon me, 55 seconds left.
There is a lot of denial on the board. They've used all their nitros, but they still have the smoke grenade and the Meister Cam, as 12 Natural being in excellent position to shut this down. And Senpai will take so much damage and just absolutely get shredded by Natural's 81 bullets. A flawless round from Unreal Academy. They were prepared for the aggression of Team Allen. I can't think of a new term. Let's just call him Team Allen for now.
Allen to the power of 2 or Allen squared, but Allen isn't playing right now, so I guess it's really Allen multiplied by 0 at this point. So Allen Null is what we'll call him. And here we are on round number 12, match point, and match number 3. How will this transpire out? Unreal Nightmare Academy has guaranteed themselves at least 1 point. So the ball is really in Team Allen's court. Will they bring a point for themselves, or will they relinquish that point and give 3 points to Unreal Academy? Be curious to find out here. Sir Meepsalot electing to bring a Vigil, trying to play into his ability that we constantly find Allen not self-droning, not doing a good job in their droning. So a Vigil is a perfect operator for that. Or maybe they should pull something out of Defiance's playbook and utilize, what is that? A Caveira.
Yes, almost certainly. It'll be hilarious to see a Caveira at this level of play. perhaps even interrogation would be beautiful from Defiant. Apparently, he said he's saving it for the finals. So hopefully, we'll see some glorious Cav play then.
I mean, in postseason, he pulled out a cab and actually got some He never got an interrogation, but he utilized it to good effect. But we're not even in season 3; we're in season 4. So let's rotate back over to the first start of week number 2, and that's going to be on Squared versus Unreal Academy. And a really good defense last time we were on the kitchen side, or maybe I should say a lackluster attack on the Allen side, where they all pushed through. Well, we saw that through Pantry, and it didn't work out well for them. So hopefully they do a more standardized push through maybe the top side of the map, through the bottom side of the map, but an aggressive peak coming up, putting Helio at about 75 HP. I like the aggression coming out by Sir Neeps a lot. It would have been a big deal to punish that Thermite, and it's nice to see a Hard Breacher back too.
Yes, I definitely think they need a Hard Breacher in the mix on Helio. Perhaps even the Maverick could work well for how aggressive they off the play. We'll see the early pick go out against Sir Meeps a lot. He's off the board. I think that was from Helio, just watching his team's flanks like a good flank watch. We'll see the Mozzie still playing up top as the map control begins to be gobbled up by Team Allen. The Zofia is there, I think, with breaching charges, so she can shred open the floor as they hope to get this 6-6 and at least secure themselves 1 point on the standing. They can't win now, and for Unreal Nightmare, all they can do is either win or draw.
And the Nitrocell you talked about goes raining out, but it's not going to find its target. It actually might have done a little damage, but it wasn't as successful as they wanted. That is 2 Nitrocells off the board, and Delta just used his. That's all 3 Nitrocell denials and not claiming anything. That might be a huge blunder, but who needs a Nitrocell when you can rely on your UMP? And that's going to be Caden off the board, and it's equal man count here. Late refrag, but late better than never. And here's Delta on a big flank. The attackers know they will now as the air jab goes off. Delta almost wins his gunfight, but the G8 ends up punishing him out. That would have been a big mistake by Allen Squared if they ended up losing that gunfight. It's only 2 defenders left, and this 2v4. But hiding on Jenga is going to be a big kill by Zavi as he claims 1, but now it's back to a 1v3, and his position is known. His life is forfeit. It's going to be a tie game here in the first part of week 2.
Yes, a excellent showing from both teams, Unreal Nightmare and Allen Squared, and we'll be seeing a match draw. No post-game interview, unfortunately, but a glorious round. Sadly, we will not get to meet the Allen as he is currently not playing for Allen Squared.
Which is so odd. When you have a team named Allen Squared and you don't play with Allen, like, that's just like playing Rainbow Six Siege and using an op. Like, no, you just can't do it. Well, as my esteemed co-caster mentioned, we will not be having a post-game interview, so we will begin the wrapping up ceremonies. And honestly, phenomenal 3 games throughout today. And I'm so glad to see the newest talent of SCL playing out well against each other. They're starting to tack up against the big boys, and that's what I love to see. In game number 2, we would see a big win coming out by Claw Central on Cafe. And speaking of big wins, it was a 7-1 in favor of In Control Nation in the first game that we witnessed today. My friend, any parting words before we kick it off?
Race cars spelled backwards. My worst quote of all time.
Brilliant, my friend. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure here on this Thursday evening. A different schedule. Your production team has been Green Potato, Fogo, and Ray. My co-caster for the evening has been Autumn. But don't worry, starting tomorrow, July 31st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, it will be Unreal Nightmare versus Homeland Academy. So tune in for another phenomenal game. But until then, my name is Chief Orgorthang. Stay well, stay healthy, and we'll be back with you